welcome to Bulldog Breakdown with Coach Rocco. I'm Cody Mummau. Good to see you, Coach. It's been a little bit rainy day. We're recording on Monday evening. It looks like it's going to be a great night, Friday night, when Franklin County comes in here. I looked, and it looks like kickoff 64 degrees.
Wow. Sunny
and sunny.
Yeah.
It's sunny. One of the best places to be in all of Lynchburg on Friday nights in the fall is right over there in the stands. The sun's going to be going down over the Blue Ridge. Franklin County is coming to town, and this is always a fun matchup. We're coming off a 22-19 win over Jefferson Forest, and now it's time to lock in for the next thing. But as we're saying all season long, we're built for this. Yep. That's it. That's it. I worked the theme in there. Yep, got it in there. Coach, we're going to break this down. Just a couple thoughts before we get into it. How's the team feeling after that gritty win? How's that?
Yeah, I mean, it was. We were just talking off camera here. As I look back over 20 years of memories, this win really ranks up there with some of the biggest wins we've had, and so I'm just so proud of our guys and just grateful that they were able to experience something like that. Hopefully, there's more big experiences ahead, but. It was a big win. Jefferson Forest is a very good football team, very hostile environment, and tough to go in there and win. And, so, I mean, it all came together. It wasn't pretty always, but our kids fought, and when it was rug cutting time at the end, I mean, our guys really took control. Right.
Yeah, a lot of respect to Jefferson Forest because they definitely have a great team. It's going to be fun to watch them, how far they go in their season. Not to put you on the spot, but a little bit, if you had one word to describe the team's heart last Friday, how would you describe it?
Maybe not just one word, but it was just enough.
Just enough.
It was just enough. We gave it just enough to figure out how to win.
So let's dive into the Jefferson Forest game. Let's take a look at that. I just had so much fun, even during the game, thinking about this conversation that we're going to have. From the very, very get-go, we had Jordan Burns with 85-yard kickoff return, and then you had a 58-yard touchdown pass. Luke went. I think I had 8 for 15, something like that. Then the defense forces 3 interceptions. 3 different guys get interceptions. And then a 10-minute final drive. There's a lot of things going on. Let's start with the kickoff return. There's a lot of tension. You could feel the electricity in that stadium at kickoff. The ball is kicked off and it hits the ground. And what's your thought the moment that thing hits the ground and he's having to reach in and pick it up off the ground?
Often whenever timing is thrown off on a kickoff coverage unit, those kind of things happen, because they kind of give, let their guard down a little bit. They may get slightly out of their lane. And, if you can just pop through that first line of defense and you got a little bit of speed like JB does, I mean, you might be off to the races. And sure enough, as he made one guy miss and got down the sideline, it was Cody bar the door, man. He can fly.
It was crazy to watch him hit a gear. Once he only had the kicker to beat,
and he did a great job of kind of securing space for himself. Like the kicker was coming from inside. And if he would just try to run down the sideline and outrun him, he maybe could have done that because he's so fast, but the kicker would have had an angle on him and maybe could have just pushed him out of bounds. But we teach our guys to run at the defender to keep him in there.
Right.
And then you can break back out again and you still have space, And he did it to perfection. It was really a thing of beauty.
Well, let's kind of stay with him a little bit too, because Jefferson Forest, of course, comes back. Let me go back to the touchdown. Immediately go for 2 points.
Yes.
The first, what is there a strategy to that, or is it just while we got the hammer down?
Coach Pribble, our special teams coach, is really, he's as good as there is in the weight room as a strength coach, and he is becoming the best special teams coach that I've ever had as well. I really give him all the responsibility and just trust that he will get it done. And when we decided to put in what we call the muddle huddle system on extra points. When you have a fake in mind, typically you'll either do it the very first touchdown you score, or maybe the first touchdown of a second half. So we went into this game and we just said, first touchdown we score, we're going to go for it. And right away we went for fake, and luckily, not luck, hopefully, we made it work. Scored a 2-point conversion, and right away put us up 8-0. And then the opposition is like chasing points after that, because you've now gotten up a point on them. So they're now forced with a decision to make every time if they would score. So it really worked out very well for us.
Just looking back in reality, I mean, we win 22-19, and that very, very much is impacted by that early decision, because then Jefferson Forest comes back, they score, and they want to try and match us, and they don't get it. And so now it's 8-6, and then we come back, and Luke throws a massive touchdown pass to Jordan, who catches it he caught it like the 5, and goes in for a score. How does first of all, how's that play come together? Is that intentionally, or did he not see something here and went deep with it?
Yeah, ironically, first of all, Jordan JB made the tackle on the 2-point play that kept JF from going in.
Good gracious! So he scores the touchdown. He scores a touchdown. Prevents a 2-point.
And then he scores a long touchdown on the next series. But ironically, on that play, we were setting up to throw just a little check down route to Jaden Coward out in the flat. But we told Luke to take a peek. If JB gets even with the safety, we called, if he gets even, he's leaving, go ahead and take a shot.
Yeah.
But if there was any gray area where you felt like the safety was still higher than where JB was, then just go and throw the check down. And sure enough, he came out of his fake, he turned, and he just launched it. And I said, okay, here we go. And sure enough, JB outran him. And, and Jordan, or Jaden, I keep his brother Jordan, Jaden out in the flat was wide open too.
Right.
So he could have thrown an easy completion in the flat, and we could have gotten yards after the catch. But he went for the juggler and hit it.
So from my perspective, I was watching Jaden. I saw him wide open, and I saw that it wasn't going that way. And so I see the ball go up. Do you, as a coach, do you just become, because you've called the play, now it's up to them to run it. Right. Do you see that ball in the air and just go, oh please, oh please?
Yeah, I mean, when he first let the ball go, and I did see Jaden wide open, it was like, oh, come on, man, we had an open receiver. That's what we talked about. But I did tell him to check for the big one.
Right.
And, I'm just trusting that, okay, he saw something there, and sure enough, he
dropped that thing right in.
And that was a long ball. I mean, that was 50-plus yards out there.
So we're 3 minutes into the game,
right,
and there's 3 touchdowns have happened. Now you kick the extra point, so we're up 15-6, which then they'll come down and they'll score again, and like you're now they don't get another 2-point, and so now you're up in this back and forth, which eventually is going to cost them the game.
That's right.
But that comes from that initial decision. It's crazy how those things work out. Defense forces 3 turnovers. 3 different layers of guys get a
you're right.
Interception. You've got defensive back, then you've got linebacker, and then you got a lineman. Which I'm going to be honest, I lost it on that one as a former D lineman. Great play on all levels, but each one of them incredibly important because they're threatening to score, and these guys get the ball back. Which one of those stands? Which one of those takeaways? They all stand out, but which one of those did you feel had that? Turn where it could have saved the game.
I want to say it was Romans, the second one, and in part because it kind of bailed me out because I made a stupid call on going for 4th down. Down in our own territory, we called a little, a little cadence, try to draw them off sides. But then once they didn't jump, then we had a play for them, which I felt was was going to be wide open, and it kind of was, but there was some inconsistency there that we didn't convert. So now we're down in our own territory having to play defense.
Right.
And then I think Roman's interception was the one that bailed us out. So I was like, ooh, okay. But they all, in their own right, got the ball back for us and got us back in control again when kind of had our backs against the wall a little bit. Yeah,
that's when everything's clicking in the different levels. Sometimes one thing goes bad in offense, defense steps up and takes care of it. That's great. Now we talked about this closing drive. So the game comes down. I mean, they're going to get theirs, and they eventually we score. We're up 22-12,
right?
And then they come back and they score, and so 22-19. Yeah. Now we get the ball, and it's 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Yeah. We have to score to go up.
Yeah.
But instead of scoring, you guys go on a 10-minute drive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. A little bit before we started that drive, Jay Grove, our line coach, came up to me and he said, "You know what?" He said, "This is playing out that we're going to get the ball one more time. We're not going to get it twice." And I was like, I thought about it. I said, "Yeah, you're right. We're probably not going to get it twice." So when we sent the team back out, it was 10:08. I think it was 10:08 on the clock. And it was like, guys, we got to put together a drive of a lifetime here. And our kids were ready. I mean, they wanted to finish this thing in a dominant fashion. And I think the thing that was so rewarding out of it all was we went the length of the field, probably could have punched it in and scored a touchdown.
Right.
But we took a knee like on the 7-yard line and just let the clock run out, So we went 10 minutes and 8 seconds, didn't even score, but we just let the clock run out and let it be 22-19 as a final.
That has to feel good to know that when you guys needed it. I mean, that watching this conditioning here and what you guys do, that plays out in those fourth quarters of being able to do that. We've talked a lot about the different guys that stepped up. We had Josiah come in. We're going to talk to him in a minute. Outside of those, any unsung heroes that made differences this week that maybe didn't get noticed but really contributed to.
Yeah, I mentioned in Josiah's interview 2 other guys. We had Brock Starnes, who hasn't played really more than a couple varsity snaps in the last year. He was a JV guy last year. And then Abdi Castaneda, an outside linebacker who hasn't played a whole lot of varsity, but due to some other circumstances, injuries and whatever, guys were pressed into duty. And they both, in addition to Josiah Pillai, had outstanding games, and they were kind of like no-name guys that just stepped up in a really, really important game. So, they were unsung, certainly, but they were extremely important to the outcome of that game.
Coach, before we look ahead to Franklin County, I want to talk about the faith element of LCA football. We're trying to talk about that a lot this year. This year, the theme is built for this. We're talking about Nehemiah, the book. Incredible story. Something that you really have to read and understand to really grab a hold of how fantastic that story is. But for this team, we've talked about the building of these young men, and how is that translating this year? Your team from when you first realized, hey, we're going to Ohio and we're in the weight room and those August preseason days to the team that just had that massive drive to end this game. How have you seen your team being built, both spiritually and as a team?
Your questions are always right on target, and we didn't even talk about this, but just today was a Monday, coming back off the JF game, and I told the kids right after the game, I said, this is a great win, maybe one of the best ever, but we're not even close to being as good as we can be, and we were sloppy in some areas, but good enough to win. But that was the key. We were good enough but we're not great, and the book Good to Great, and there's that term, taking good to great. I mean, we have the ability to get great, whatever great is, much better than good, but we're not there yet, and I really challenge the guys today that, at the beginning of this year, we talked about what we are going to confront stuff. And when things aren't the way they're supposed to be, we're going to confront it. Just like in the story of Nehemiah, where the townspeople would just step over the rubble walls, and it was like they didn't even think anything of it. Well, there was no pride in what the walls of Jerusalem looked like back in the day. There was no pride. They just let it be the way it is, and we can't allow that to be. So if we're a good football team, but we have the ability to be great, and your coaches don't hold you accountable to trying to make adjustments to be great, we're not holding up our end of the bargain as coaches, and the players aren't holding up their end of the bargain trying to be as good as they can be. So we kind of pulled that good to great, built for this theme together today, ironically, and hopefully, it can kind of catapult us off of this big win, realizing that, we won a big game, but in no way are we good yet or great yet, and we need to continue to work on those areas where we're not there yet.
Yeah, because Friday we can't sit in the win too long, because Friday's on the way. We've got Franklin County coming in. We've been in this back and forth series, not a conference game, but definitely a game that we've had every year. Great opponent this coming year. Last time that they were here, I think we had rain. You remember that? That it was crazy times. Franklin County's coming on Friday. They're going to be here 7 p.m. right here at Bulldog Stadium. Tough, familiar rival. What's the scouting report on Franklin County? What's their biggest strength?
Yeah. The thing that I challenge our guys with today is that they're a 5A school. Mm-hmm. And in this PowerPoint system that is Virginia, VHSL football, when you can beat, like we're a 3A school, when we've been able to beat the last 2 weeks, Amherst and JF, they're both 4A, and now we're playing a 5A school. So the points that we can accrue beating bigger schools, really put us up PowerPoint wise way over the 3A schools that are just playing 2A and 3A. So this is a huge game in that regard. But Franklin County, as I look at them, is traditionally as good a blend of athlete, high school football athlete, as any school that we play. They always have big linemen that are kind of like, big farm boys, big heavy legs that can knock people back. And then they have some skill players. They got some long, tall athletes who can go get the ball. And so they are always a challenge. Their quarterback is back from last year, and he was a really good player. Their tailback is back from last year, and he's a quick, elusive running back. As I said, they have some big linemen, 6'7", 265, offensive tackle, looks like a lumberjack, and so they this year they're 2-2. They beat Salem early on, and they just lost to Magna Vista just last week, and Magna Vista's 5-0 right now. Right. And Franklin County's coming off a bye in preparation for our game. So things are just setting up for them the way they would want it to set up going into our game. So we're going to get the best Franklin County Eagles team that we could get, I'm sure.
And Franklin County has such great football culture. Yeah. When you go to their football stadium, it is packed out. They've got it ready, and they travel well.
That's right.
Even though they're a good distance from here, right. I expect to see a lot of Franklin County fans here, which gives our regular home game call, guys, we need you to be here, to be loud.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that our Bulldog Nation kind of followed us to JF last week.
That was huge.
It was a senior trip was scheduled during that weekend, and so a lot of the seniors were gone. But the underclassmen, and then just the community at large. We had a very good following, and it was so appreciative, so impactful to our kids and the way the kids played. So please continue to come out and support us.
We didn't even really talk about that much, that it was homecoming over
there
it was their
homecoming.
for JF. They scheduled us. And then, but yeah, no, there was a couple third downs where, some of our guys were not interacting too much with the crowd, but there was a couple third downs where they're do this, and the crowd stood up, and it was and it made a difference. It made an impact on those guys. Yeah, I cannot wait for next Friday. Hey, we always want you guys to go online. You can get your tickets through GoFan. The link is in the description, and it helps to avoid the lines. You can just kind of slide right on.
From what I understand, our opening game, the home game against Amherst, the lines were packed trying to get into the stadium. So the GoFan option, I think, is something that fans should take advantage of. Yeah,
if you get GoFan, you can go into any of the entrances, but if you have to buy a ticket, you have to go through one entrance. So you definitely want to go to GoFan, get those early, invite friends, come. It's going to be a great. This right now is shaping up to be one of the nicest nights for football that you could imagine.
And it's our homecoming this week.
This is our homecoming.
Yeah, so we were at JF's homecoming. Now it's our homecoming. So that's always our school does a great job of putting on festivities and making it a really cool high school memory. So people want to come out and support that.
Yeah. Hey, we've talked a lot about who we played, who we're going to play. And we said that we had a real special player. Usually I kind of leave that as a suspense, but I'm telling you, we're bringing Josiah Pillai.
Yeah.
And before we jump to that conversation, tell me why it is that we selected him for this, because I got a lot of respect for him and stuff, partially because he hangs out at my house.
Well, you asked about were there any unsung heroes from this week's game, and Josiah would be the one that comes to mind right away, and he was our leading tackler as a 5'6", 75-pound linebacker. If you would come into our halls of school and see Josiah Pillai walking down the hallway as Abdi Castaneda and Brock Starnes, the other names I've already mentioned, you'd never say that those guys were football players on a successful high school football team. But they're just warriors, so Josiah, having 10 tackles and stepping up the way he did, we really felt like he would be the one to be honored for this week's podcast.
Yeah, definitely worth it. Bulldog fans, we're going to take a step, and we're going to introduce you to Josiah Pillai. All right, Bulldog fans, if you've been around Bulldog football for a long time, little time, whatever, you've seen Josiah Pillai. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Excited to be out. Just got done conditioning.
Yeah.
You happy?
Pretty happy.
Pretty happy because it's over? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, Coach. You got them conditioned to when you get started, everybody's like, yeah, let's go conditioning. Because they know they're like, oh, man.
I think that was a little bit of sarcasm.
Hey, if you watched the game on Friday night, you saw this guy in and just about every play. Just flying to the football. We were just talking in on at least 10 tackles, 5 that I counted on your own, and then big TFL, which is, for those of you that don't know, tackle for loss, which is, it's major. You got an offense lined up looking to gain at least some ground. When you get them behind the line, it's big for you guys. And rough on them. Hey, Josiah, getting into this, how do you prepare mentally and physically for a defensive role like being a middle linebacker, especially going against a team like Jefferson Forest? What goes into your week before you play a game like that?
So eating right is a big thing. You got to prepare for Friday nights. So I saw Coach Rocco in the hallways, and he'd be constantly telling me, make sure you're eating, keeping weight up, always hydrate, and then mentally, I think focusing in the meeting room, that was a big part. When my keys were on the board, I feel like I locked into that the entire week, and Scout Offense did a great job of showing me what was going to happen leading up to the game. And yeah, so the keys mentally, I feel like I was just ready for.
That's awesome. Hey, we just talked about you being part of a life group. Your faith plays a big part of your life. I get to see this guy comes to my house for life group. You got a great group of guys that come together. That thing, that Sunday night life group, being part of church, how does it keep you grounded during the season? That's outside of football. You got a brotherhood here, but you have a group that you kind of walk through life together that are from all different walks of life. How does that keep you grounded in your life?
Yeah, those guys are family. I can talk to them about anything inside of football and outside of football. They're always there for me. So they're there whenever I need anything. So we talk about life, like leading up to the football game and stuff. We just talk about anything, and they're there spiritually for me. I got a couple guys. They check on me weekly, and they're always I tell them things I struggle with. They tell me things they struggle with. We talk to each other about it on phone weekly or whenever we see each other. So they're always there for me. So yeah, they're like my second family.
That's pretty cool. So, yeah. And Coach, that's gonna be cool to hear your guys like really living that faith out and vulnerability. I mean, that's tough to be vulnerable with guys. I wish we were taught that a lot when we were younger. But what's that mean for you to hear a guy like Josiah talk about his life in that way, that he got men around him that are plugging into him that way?
I mean, it's a testament to his family. The Pillai family has been around, our ministry here for a long time. But his older brother played here. He's got a younger brother playing here. I mean, we have so many multiple brother families that have come through our program. We're just extremely fortunate in that because it breeds the tradition, and Josiah has done a tremendous job in maximizing on his God-given ability. In part, I mean, he's not the biggest guy in the world, you can see, but all of the intangibles that you're looking for in a teammate, in a leader, in a hard-working role model, he checks all of those boxes. And so where there's probably going to be taller, bigger, faster, stronger, they don't hold a candle to all of those intangibles that Josiah has. And I was just so proud Friday night to have Josiah be able to represent and be a Bulldog and be a starter and create the memory. And he'll never forget Friday night, and then Brock Starnes and Abdi Castaneda. I mean, we had guys playing varsity football really for the first time they've ever played against a very, very good football
really
team.
Good team.
And these guys rose to the occasion. I couldn't be more proud.
For those of us that weren't in the game, you experience the game different than fans do. So we watch the game. We see plays and times that we feel the game is changing and ebbs and flows. For you, what was maybe a key moment in the game for you where you felt like you guys took control? Obviously, we started off with a run back, and we could say that, but it kind of went back and forth for a lot. What are some major moments in that game that you're going to remember for a long time?
I feel like my tackle for loss, for sure, that was like a big moment that really kind of set the standard for me, where that was like probably one of my biggest plays of the game, and that got me like, oh yeah, this is my time to shine type moment. And then I was just, like I said, I was prepared mentally in the game, so I had keyed my guards. I knew exactly what plays were coming. Coaches did a really good job of preparing us linebackers for this game, and I feel like we were very well prepared in this game. And
he's going to be humble here, but he did something in the midst of the game that even the most experienced linebacker would have had a hard time doing. JF was very well coached. They gave us a different look that we weren't exactly prepared for, and it was really a little bit of flying by the seat of our pants early on because we had to make some adjustments. based on the fact that they really didn't have a fullback in the backfield. They were doing more of an empty set. So his job was really to understand where the fullback was setting, and then that gave us a tendency of what they were going to do. Well, they didn't have a fullback, so he had to, on the fly, kind of dissect where the keys were coming from. And, with very, very little varsity experience, he was able to, just through savviness, be able to dissect where that key was. And then he started, probably not until the third series did we ever really get fully into understanding what they were doing. But, he kind of did a lot of that on his own.
Yeah.
Coach Pribble, in the locker room, he made some adjustments, and the second half we came out and adjusted to it, and we fixed it, and we were prepared for whatever happened next. So
feels nice to be out on that field and know what you're doing and playing. No, I mean, but he's right. That's great to be able to be on the move. It's nice to have a cerebral guy. Until you play, you don't realize how much of the game is mental. That's one of the beauties of defense. Hey, this is not super important, but I think it's something that's worth talking about. If you could pick one song to blast. I know we're not going to blast songs in the locker room, but if you could, to hype the team up before Franklin County this week, what is your go-to and why does it get you pumped?
That's a good song. That's good. It's a hard decision, but it may not be the most secular Christian song.
Okay.
But it's just like a hype song that gets me, and it's by Chief Keef, and it's Love Sosa. But it's just. It's something that gets me pumped up for the games. So yeah, that'd be a good song, but it's not very godly. But
it's got a good beat.
It does. Yeah. It gets the team hyped. So.
I got you. Hey, Coach, when you see a guy like this step in as a senior, but maybe jumping into a place that he hasn't experienced before, what kind of leadership does he bring to this group? I've witnessed it from outside of football, the kind of guy that he is. But the guy that he is, his faith, his showing up, his listening, being prepared, how's that impacted the team really throughout his time?
I mean, the way I'll answer that is, by guys like himself rising to the occasion the way he did and the way he does, he gives our program credibility because we as coaches are constantly saying that, we don't care how big, how fast, how strong, whatever. We just need guys that we can count on and that will be good teammates and they'll do their job. And, when a guy like Joe steps up, and other guys that are taller, bigger, faster, stronger, looking at that's the guy that's playing. He's doing it because he is living out what the expectation is.
Yeah.
So he's leading really by example, but it's not a verbal thing at all. But although he's verbal, but by living the life the way he's living his life, he's leading and giving credibility to what we're trying to do in our program. So, those are special moments when guys like he and Brock and Abdi can step into the forefront because it just gives our program credibility.
Yeah, no doubt. I got one more intellectual question for you. Ready for this one? You're a leader on the field, in the locker room, in life group, all the things. If you could steal one teammate's skill, think of this. Maybe spin move, ability to catch, whatever. Who's it from and how would you use it?
That's a good question. Honestly, I'd probably steal Jaden's backfield vision. He sees a gap, he just shoots it. That's something I'd like to be better on offense. Just seeing the gap and just going for it.
That's pretty great.
He's a very good running back too, and we, unfortunate for him, we've got like 3 or 4 guys that are pretty good, talented running backs. So he's in that mix in the running back room. But He's a very good running back in his own right.
Wow. Bulldog fans, it's always about being ready to go when it's your time, man. You jumped in Jefferson Forest game and absolutely didn't even just show up. You made an impact. And so number 23 going to be flying all over the field. We're excited to see what's next for you. Josiah Pillai, thanks for hanging out with us.
Hey.
Well, that's our Osterbine Law Player of the Game, Bulldog of the Week, Josiah Pillai. What a great guy! I can't say enough about it, but again, he's in my youth group, and he's I get to hang out with him a bunch. So what you see is actually who that guy is.
Great family.
Yes, an incredible family. You've gotten to coach a bunch of them, and so that's pretty cool. Hey, Coach, as we get ready to close, we have the Maddox Power Play of the Game. There's about 100 plays in this game that we could have probably have taken, but I'm excited to show this one. You want to set this one up? We've talked about it a little bit, but set this play up a little bit so that when we watch it, we understand how important this moment was.
So you said that, there were a lot of big plays, but the game kind of went back and forth. So we made a big play, and then JF kind of answered it. Then we made another big play, and then JF kind of answered it. But there was a significant turn. We created a takeaway that really was impactful in that I mentioned earlier. We were backed up in our own territory, decided to make a decision to go for it on fourth down. We didn't convert, so the bad play call put our defense in a bad position. So Roman Aronson made a very key interception that kind of got us out of the muck, so to speak, being back in our own territory, and then we were able to kind of flip the field again to be able to play in a little bit more comfortable setting, But so the big interception by or Roman Aronson, was what I think we'll show here as the power play of the week.
Yeah. With that, let's go check the Maddox Power Play of the Game.
It's time for the Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air, Electrical and Plumbing, keeping your home running strong. Let's check out this week's big-time play. Maddox, let's get started. With time ticking down in the first half, the Bulldogs faced a gut-check moment. Up 15-12 after a risky fourth down turnover deep in their own territory. LCA's defense stared down Jefferson Forest inside the red zone. The Cavaliers, with 4 minutes left, smelled the lead. Peyton Jackson dropped backs, firing a pass over the middle, says Andrew Coleman. Enter middle linebacker Roman Aronson. Rising with pure instinct, he snatched the ball from the air at the 12-yard line, racing out to the 25. That interception didn't just stop the scoring threat, it flipped the momentum. One of many gritty plays, Aronson's pick helped secure the Bulldogs' 22-19 victory over their conference rival. A true moment for LCA, showing LCA's heart and fight when it mattered most. That was your Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air, Electrical and Plumbing. When it comes to your home, Maddox says, let's get started.
All right, Coach, you weren't lying. That was absolutely one of the best plays and one of the best games. Such an exciting game. Coach, thanks for being here. You got anything else today before we?
No, just again, very thankful and humbled to, still be in the conversation. I think this team has taken a little while to gel, and there might have been some, outsiders thinking that this team wasn't going to be relevant, and I'm very, very thankful that we're midway through the season now, and we're still very, very relevant, and hopefully if we continue to win, we can put ourselves very much in the conversation to kind of get into postseason play and maybe make another run at it.
Yeah, one game at a time.
Yeah.
Got a big one this week, 7 p.m. right here at Bulldog Stadium. Get your tickets on GoFan. It's going to be great. Let's pack this stadium out.
Please.
Come eat a lot of food over at Benny's Bites, and Andy would appreciate that. Like this video, share it with friends. Let's get the word out. Bulldog football is here to stay relevant. I'm a fan. I'm going to say we are here. We're ready to take this on. Franklin County, up next. Go Dogs.